on, fight fans? Just wanted to make a quick video here, post-fight on Gary Russel Jr. versus Jojo Diaz. It was a really exciting fight to watch. It was actually, in the beginning of the fight though, you had Jojo Diaz landing the body punches like I thought he had to do, and but in the second half, Gary Russel Jr. pretty much dominated the fight. I think it was around 4 where Gary Russel Jr. just started mowing around and just peppering Jojo Diaz to the head and to the body, and he looked very comfortable, fighting on his back foot, and like I said, his speed was just too much for Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz he looked very discouraged, and I was thinking that maybe he was going to wait until the later rounds to try and be more aggressive, but I just think that Gary Russell's speed was just too much for him, and he just couldn't really be effective. He was blocking a lot of Gary Russell Jr.'s punches, because Gary Russell was landing, he was throwing a lot of punches, great combinations and everything. And in little moments when Jojo Diaz was coming forward, he was being somewhat effective, but though it never seemed like Gary Russell Jr. was really affected by any of the punches that Jojo Diaz landed. It never slowed them down, and actually Gary Russell Jr. finished strong. I think it was in the 11th round where it looked like if Gary Russell Jr. had been dropped, but it was more he just slipped. He slipped, and the judge ruled it a slip. So I didn't like the fact that the judge was being too involved. He was overbearing. He wasn't allowing the fighters to just fight out of the when they were like having those how can I say this? They kept tying each other up, and he kept warning Jojo Diaz. But regardless of that, Gary Russell Jr. just was too much for Jojo Diaz. It was an exciting fight, guys, and I would like to say though, I applaud both fighters for being warriors in the ring and giving us a very, very entertaining and spectacular fight. But like I said, Gary Russell Jr. just peppered Jojo Diaz pretty much the whole night. It was a one-sided fight. It was a unanimous decision by the judges, which that's what Gary Russell deserved. It was a Gary Russell crowd. He was fighting hometown, and I hope both fighters come back soon and give us another entertaining fight, not against each other, but Jojo Diaz, hopefully he learned from this fight. He waited too much, and some people are gonna say that Jojo Diaz he should have done more, but it's not that he should have done more. I think it was more that he couldn't. I think that, like I said, Gary Russell Jr. was just too much for him. But anyways, guys, it was a very exciting fight, and I'm gonna get ready to see the Stevenson versus Badu Jack fight.